During that decade, the overall increase of the domestic product was 37%. That's the basic measure. For if the output grows by 37%, then all wages, all profits, the revenues of the state, all that can also grow by 37%. But what happened? Firstly, net wages have grown only 23%. Gross wages, too, remained 1/5 below the measure. Even incomes from entrepreneurial activity and from fortunes were lagging behind, which reflects the precarious situation of enterprises. They fight difficulties and their fears of bankruptcy, and many do go bankrupt. Only the state could slightly increase its revenues above proportion. But what goes beyond any scope are the interest revenues of banks with 89%, and along with them the augmentation of monetary assets by 99%. That means a doubling of monetary assets within 10 years. This might be seen as a slight slowing down of their growth, because the average in the previous decades was a doubling of monetary assets every 8 to 9 years. The insane augmentation of monetary assets can only be stopped if the holding of money can be prevented. This is also a question of the juridical assessment of money. Primarily, it is a public medium for exchanging goods and services by steady circulation, a public institution which should be open for usage by everyone and must not be blocked by anyone. Regarding money as a private commodity and keeping it as one likes could be compared to a driver who parks his car as he likes in the middle of a road, thus obstructing the ongoing traffic. Unlike the car driver who would receive a severe penalty for his inappropriate behavior, the money holder is seduced by a reward to feed his money back into circulation. Money is the most important medium in the economy, which enables and sustains the exchange of services and goods. But still today, anyone has the right to block the flow of money without being made liable for the damage to the economy. The picture of this gear mechanism might be useful for summarizing the whole situation. The left part shows the cycle in the monetary sector, and the right side is divided into an upper and a lower semicircle, representing the real economy. In the money sector, monetary assets overproportionally grow, with an annual growth rate of 7 to 8%. And the bank towers in every metropolis around the world grow higher and higher. The mass of monetary assets accumulates there and has to be serviced. This requires a corresponding infrastructure. Consequence is the expansion of credits to the economy. Consequences again are high interest burdens which have to be worked for in the economy. The interest flows to monetary assets increase and monetary assets grow. This is the vicious circle which our monetary system is based upon. The consequence is that ever higher interest payments leave less for others. Wages and profits decline, and their consequences are bankruptcies, poverty, unemployment, rising prices, strikes, violence, in short, growing social tensions. And when these build up, which is inevitable with continuous redistribution, the kettle will burst. Civil wars, revolts, general strikes, or whatever might rise up to wars. So far, the way out of the dilemma was continuous economic growth. We've been trying to deal with these tensions by baking ever bigger cakes. But this way out through continuous economic growth is a dead end because of the finiteness of the earth and its resources. From this development, too, result growing tensions, which already led to conflicts of interests. The conflict arises about the rights over the last resources, which are bound to become scarcer by time. This will not be solved without wars, as we have already witnessed at the Gulf, and in the near future there will probably arise conflicts about drinking water. Well, that is the situation now, which from both sides runs in a disastrous direction. What can be done? How can the disaster be avoided? This is possible in one point only. The compulsion for economic growth must be reduced. and this is only possible when there is no need for expanding the economic performance. The social problems would ease off if the need for economic growth was diminished, and with it the need for continuously expanding the circulating money. This again is only possible when interest rates could decline without triggering fatal problems. A safeguarding of money circulation that really works could enable interest rates to drop to zero along and in accord with economic growth rates. The excessive growth of monetary assets would be reduced, and with it the social tensions which build up today not only between North and South, but also within nations. With it, the accelerated accumulation of debts would ease off and release the productive people in the economy from solving the impossible task of diminishing debts that grow faster than people can work. Such a safeguarding measure could easily be implemented on current accounts or demand funds, where a demurrage fee of, say, 0.5% per month could easily be deducted. This would prevent the holding on to demand funds longer than actually needed. It is a bit more difficult with cash money, but there are a number of proposals of how this could be done. A circulation safeguarding or demurrage fee of that kind could stabilize the circulation of money in a similar way as the traffic, which is regulated with corresponding fees in order to avoid blockages. Without this decisive measure, and an amendment of the defects in the monetary system, a fair world will not be possible, because a fair world is only possible on a fair foundation, and that is a fair money.